That night, I stayed late in the library, alone. Or at least, I thought I was alone, until I heard footsteps, limping footsteps, coming closer. It happened exactly 1 year ago. Our final exams were approaching fast, and I still had a lot of preparation left to do. Normally, our school library would close by 5 p.m., but because of the exams, the school extended the hours until midnight, so students could study late if they wanted to. My house wasn't far from the school, but I preferred the quiet, focused atmosphere of the library over studying at home. That evening, I left my house at 6 p.m. and reached the library shortly after. I got so immersed in my studies that I didn't even realize how much time had passed. When I finally glanced at the clock, it was 10 p.m. I had never stayed that late before. By 8 p.m., there would usually still be a few students around, but by 10 p.m., the library was eerily silent. Still, I only had about 10 to 15 minutes of work left, so I decided to finish up quickly before heading home. The silence was unnerving, but I forced myself to focus. That's when I heard it, a soft, dragging sound. Footsteps. Someone was limping. My heart started pounding. I slowly turned my head, but the library was empty. Maybe it was just my imagination, I told myself. I shook it off, closed my books, and stood up to leave. As I stepped out of the library, I entered the long, dimly lit corridor that led to the school exit. At the far end of the corridor, I saw a figure, a woman standing completely still. Something about her sent a shiver down my spine. The closer I got, the more uncomfortable I felt. My instincts screamed at me to turn back, but I had to pass by her to leave. Trying to steady my voice, I called out, "Who's there?" The moment the words left my mouth, she vanished. My breath caught in my throat. I stood frozen for a second before rushing toward the exit. As I stepped outside, I noticed something strange. The street was completely empty. Normally, even at night, this road was busy with people walking by. But now, there was no one. Just me. I quickened my pace, keeping my head down, when I suddenly noticed something. A shadow stretching toward me on the ground. A shadow that wasn't mine. Dread filled my chest as I hesitantly lifted my head. There, just ahead of me, was the same woman. Her tattered, dirty clothes barely clung to her frail body. Her hands and feet were twisted unnaturally. Her hair hung in messy, tangled strands over her face. She was limping. I stopped in my tracks, every instinct screaming at me to run, but my body wouldn't move. Then in a raspy, broken voice, she spoke. "Have you seen my daughter?" My mouth went dry. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't think. She stepped closer. I didn't know what to say, what to do. My mind was blank with fear. Desperate to make her leave, I shakily pointed far ahead and whispered, "Oh, over there." She turned and started limping in that direction. I stood frozen, watching her disappear into the darkness. But just as I started to calm down, a blood-curdling scream tore through the night. "She is here!" Then, nothing. Darkness. When I woke up, I was in my room. My neighbor told me he had found me passed out on the street and carried me home. Later, I discovered the truth. In 1998, a woman named Agatha had lost her 10-year-old daughter in a tragic accident at Eden Hill School. She never recovered from the grief, and after her passing, she was seen wandering around the school and its surroundings, still searching for her lost child. Even now, still looking. Outro. Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed the story. If you found it creepy, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss more spooky stories. See you in the next one. Until then, stay safe and watch your surroundings.